Okay, my own perspective, from my own end, the board, the color of the board, the dark brown and the lighter shade of brown and the lighter shade. Then there's the color contrast, the dark brown, then the lighter shade of that same brown from the board.
All right. All right. Thank you. There's something peculiar. Okay.
So,
Is it quick?
yes, I have
You're
something
speaking?
to say. Yes.
Okay.
So you said contrast is to highlight something, right? So I feel like the contrast here is the blacking between the whites because it's standing out.
All right. Thank you. From what you guys say now, you were all pointing out to something standing out from the other. And where contrast is rightly applied on this image is that black among the white that is standing out. That is where and how contrast is applied there on this image. Now, remember from the definition of contrast that we said it is used to grab attention. If you look at that design, your eyes will quickly grab to that white that is standing alone amongst whites. It's grabbing attention and it's guiding your eyes to make it to point towards it. Can in a way tell you that on that line, that white one or that black one among the white is the most important today. So that is that for that. Okay, let's have a vote now. For me to know that you understand what we talked about. Type on the group, just type on the chat bot now. Where is contrast right applied here? This one has a good contrast, the bad contrast. Everyone, even including in the noisy environment, that's type you can. Okay, two people be this kind of that when someone that way. I don't know if wrong, we're grouping. That like is the right thing. Okay. 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 Let's continue the presentation. Completion to the side B has a good contrast. Now, if you look at them very well, you see that the one of the A, if you are looking at it, you might be straining your eyes to be reading through the text. But if you look at B, your eyes are calm reading it. This is one thing that contrast is used to achieve, to make sure that, in fact, as a graphic designer generally, you are trying to make sure that it's easier for people reading through the content that you are creating out. That is your job. Make it easy. As you are trying to pass that message to them, you are making it easy for them to read through, to go through it. And one way you can achieve that is using a good contrast on the design. Make sure that people can see it clearly. You are going to see bad designs later on with bad contrasts. Okay, this one, you look at it very well. The one of bad contrast, you can hardly read through it. Be straining your eyes. But the one of good contrast, you can see it very well. Now, for those that will be joining my mentees group later on, we are going to further discuss on other advanced principles of designing, and including theories and how to make use of some of these elements like color. Color is one advanced theory that even advanced designers are still learning how to make use of colors. I don't think there's anybody who will be an expert in colors. Color is broad. There's psychology of color. There's how to combine colors. There are different types of colors. You have your warm and the cold colors and all. So we are going to do that more. But why am I saying this is because color is what is used here mostly to achieve this good contrast. Because you have a lighter shade of background, you're now using a darker shade of text on it. That will give you a good contrast. So that one is just it. Okay, this was January. You see here the planning prayerfully came out because the background is dark and the text is light. Okay, with this, we know that contrast on any design is very important, and when not applied, the message of the design might not be conveyed accurately. Do we have any question on contrasts? Anyone? I believe there must be a question because I'm rushing through. Somebody should ask a question, something you do not really understand clearly. Now, let me even tell us something. Why you're thinking of a question to ask? I was designing. I was just designing. I never knew that for me to advance in my graphic design career, I will need to learn some additional things. But I started designing as far as 2016, 2014, 2015, thereabouts, I started designing. But until I came across graphic design, learned it and paid attention to it, the whole of design changed. And that was when I started working with graphic design. What you're learning is not easy. Take it serious and at the back of my time designing. Like anytime you're designing, if you like you write crap beside you as you're designing. As you're designing, you're looking at them. Am I doing the right thing? Have I obeyed the rule of contrast? Am I obeying repetition? Am I obeying alignment? Am I obeying proximity on this design? This will guide you through to make sure that you have a professionally looking design. All right, moving on to the next one. Since there is no question, as the name implies, repetition. It simply means using the same elements or similar element on a design over and over again. That is what it means. You know, all of these people are talking about repetition. Sorry, we're talking about elements. So repetition has to do with using the same element over and over, over and over, over and over. I'm going to give us, after explaining, a tip on how to apply repetition. Repetition can be reflected in the use of the same or similar color, shape, line, fonts, and other elements. Now, on a design, you know, we have shapes, we have lines, we have text, and all, we have colors. Those are graphics elements. Repetition is telling us that we should make sure that we use this over again and again. If you are using red, make sure that you repeat that red on that design. Repeat it over and over, over and over, over and over. If you are using white, you are using blue, repeat it over and over. Don't use blue, use green, use yellow, use purple, use all kinds of color. If you are using a particular font, make sure you repeat that font over and over. You see on this design how circles were repeated and the colorette were repeated. Those shapes were repeated, making the design pop. Repetition can also be used to create some patterns and all. So that is why I added this image here for you to see additional thing that repetition can be used for. Repetition is also used to make patterns. Okay, I even added video on a design and sometimes referred to as pattern. So previous design I used, there's some patterns on the background. So that's why I added this image here. So repetition creates cohesiveness and consistency on a design and makes the viewers feel relaxed when knowing that they are still on the same page, especially when it has to do with web pages. Okay, let me explain repetition here now using this design. if you observe clearly here, in terms of color, let's look at the various elements of design now. In terms of color, we have two colors majorly on this design,
Sorry,
blue
sir. Is it
and...
possible to zoom in a little bit?
Are you not seeing my screen full?
We can see it full, but the design itself is a little bit smaller.
The design, I think the design is on the group. But someone should drop the design on the group. So you want to see the design fully. But I'm presenting, so I won't be able to zoom in. Let me even see how it's
Okay, sir.
appearing. It's appearing full screen. I won't be able to zoom in as I'm presenting. Okay, now back to it. You see that we have two major colors here. Most of the time, black and white will not be regarded as color. Black is the absence of color, white is the presence of all colors. So some of the times you might not regard them as color on a design. So you have the fonts. Okay, let's talk about the color first. The colors used here just two major colors, the orange and blue. Orange is used on Become A, and also used in Simplify, also used in the bullets, also used in the call to action button there, the register or visit your game. Then blue is used in many other sections of the design as well. So these two colors are repeated over and over around the whole design. Now coming to font, now another element of the design. You see that the fonts used here are just two fonts used here. Is it two? Three fonts. Become A is one font. Graphic designer is one font. And you have the fonts used for the simplified and the bulletin, the text and the bulletin and other aspects, the other small part. So it's just three fonts used, repeated over and over in different places of the design. Now, I don't know if you're getting what I'm talking about repetition. It has to do with repeating elements of design over and over. Shapes, text, colors, anything, graphic elements. Repeat it. Don't use too many different ones. In fact, this is the tip I said I was going to give you. When it has to do with repetition, use just maximum of 3 of any of these elements on the design. Let's say different types of fonts now. Use maximum of 3 fonts. There's still what is called psychology of fonts, psychology of typography, and to know which kind of fonts to use on any kind of design, and a psychology of color as well, to know the kind of color to use for each type of design. Or we are still going to be doing that for those that will stay with me. And to know which one to use at any point in time. But then, generally, use your maximum of 3. Maximum of 3 fonts, maximum of 3 colors on the design. If you have any design that's part that is more than 3, unless you are extremely very creative to be able to use it, you know that rules are meant to be broken. Now, if you break rules, make sure that you are breaking them creatively. You break them creatively. It's only when you know a rule that you're able to break it creatively now. So if you don't understand how to apply the rule first, you might not be able to know how to break it. So basically, make sure that if you are using fonts, maximum 3. If you are using color, you are using shapes, maximum of 3 kind of shape. Don't use rectangle, triangle, circle, what other kind of shapes again? Other types of polygons and all design. No, you are using rectangle. You see how I use rectangle on this desktop and mobile. I use rectangle for the call to action. And if you look at the general canvas of the design, having a rectangular feel, or to even the font use the graphic designer rectangular. Now I added the circle on the 2.0. That is all. Not having too many shapes on it. So the reason why I try to make this design as simple as this is so that I'll also be using it to explain these basic principles of design. Do we understand that? Do we have any question on repetition? We have 2 more to go. I want us to finish this craft today, and tomorrow we are going to do a little practical, and then for those that will be staying with me, we continue from there. Any question on repetition? I know that probably there are things I've not said, and you always hear them from me again. Or any question? Somebody should ask a question, please, so that I'll know that you are with me. Just ask a question. Let me know that I followed. Ask a question, these people. Ask a question.
Sir, please, can you give us 2 examples where you use the contrast in this place?
Okay. Now, contrast is widely used everywhere in this design. You see that the background is light generally, so the color of the text coming on it has to be darker shade, or the color of any shape or any element at all coming on top of this background has to be darker shade of it. And where you have a darker shade, just like that desktop and laptop, you now have a lighter shade, a color of text on it. It's white. That is contrast playing out there in terms of color. You get that?
Yes, sir.
Who asked the question? Did you get that now?
Sir.
So imagine if I used a, let me see if I can open, if I have this design, I can easily open it now and show you on. I think I use Photoshop to design it. My graphic design class is such a way that whether you want to use phone to design or you want to use system to design, you can still flow. Now, while we continue later on, you are still going to decide which one you are going to use based on availability of devices that you have, and you still go well. But the only thing I cannot teach it. Let me not say I can never teach it, because I don't know whether in future I can change my mind. But now, everyone around me, they know that I don't like Canva. I don't like Canva users. I don't see them as graphic designers. It's no pride though. Or is it pride?
So out of we that are using Canva now, what happens to us?
If you are using Canva, sorry, I will not teach you. I'll just teach you basic of designing, and you go and see how you'll be able to apply them on your Canva.
Okay, sir, no problem, sir.
Okay, based on the question he asked on this thing, contrast, I've opened my Photoshop. Can you see my Photoshop screen now?
No.
Or you see the presentation you are seeing?
It's still the presentation we are seeing.
The presentation, sir.
Should have changed now. Has it changed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It does.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So imagine on this graphic designer now, I use a lighter shade of color. Will you be able to see it clearly?
No, it's
You
blue.
definitely won't be able to see.
Looks
Yes, sir.
faded.
Or
No.
imagine using a color like this. So you definitely should use a darker shade of color to pop it out. You get? So that is what contrast is telling you on any piece of work that you are doing. Now, contrast itself can be used to achieve hierarchy that we'll talk about later. So I'll just showing you that. Let's go back to our presentation. Oh, because I'm still presenting it, not showing. I don't know why this is doing this. Because I'm presenting it, it will not show here until I stop presenting for it to now show. Share screen. Sharing screen, sharing screen. Okay, you can see it now. I'm sure of that. Okay, so any other question on repetition before we move on to the second to the last one? No question. All right.
Before you know your radio, you saw.
Allah, you know me. When I tell and say no me.
Yes, sorry, sir.
It's like network is bad. This person network is bad. I hope it's not mine. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Sharing network.
What's that?
Yes, sir. We're hearing
Can
you,
you?
sir.
Okay, okay.
We're hearing you,
So
sir.
alignment is the simplest of all, and at the same time, it can be the most complicated. And you see some people using it wrongly. Alignment simply has to do with the way designs elements are arranged on the design canvas. To the left, to the right, up, down, center, middle. How are you aligning them on the design? That is what alignment is all talking about. You type with Microsoft Word now, so you know that you can either align things to left or right. You can either align things to left, align to right, align to the center, or justify. This example of a well-aligned, organized alignment and no organized alignment on a design piece of work. So it's always advised to maintain a pattern in your alignment when okay. And when in doubt, use left alignment. Repetition should also be applied in alignment. Let me explain these 3 points now. Okay, you have to maintain a pattern in your alignment. Become a graphic designer from that beginning to the end of which has to do with the phone number down there. They are all making use of left alignment. You notice that everything is aligned to the left. The whole of those texts aligned to the left. You notice that?
Yes, sir.
Now, the first section, become a graphic designer. Today, a simplified learn graphic design. That first section is using left alignment. The middle section, the one that has dates and up to the bulletin, using the same left alignment. Then the last down section is still using the same left alignment. Now, that is when it's talking about the pattern. You'll be wrong using left alignment for the top, then the middle one you are now using a middle alignment or left or right alignment, and on the down one use a different kind of alignment. Your design will not be organized. Do you remember these are basic rules? There are ways somebody will break these rules and the design will still come out well. But you have to understand it first before you're able to break it. Now, when in doubt, use left alignment. And that is why on this design I use all left alignment. Not that because I wanted to use it to explain it to you guys. Now, repetition should also be applied in terms of alignment. I repeated the same pattern of alignment, left alignment everywhere. Except for this session that I say free plus one more plus mentorship for standing participants. This one now is a different section on its own using center alignment there. So you get. I don't know if alignment is so hard to understand there. Now this has to do with all elements of design on the Canva and the work you are doing. How you align them. As time goes on, you see learn more on alignment, the advanced ways of aligning. When it has to do with a layout, you section your design like the way I section this one now. That first section up, the middle section text, and the down section call to action. So you understand what I'm saying? You have any question on alignment? I know there are not much thing on alignment here. Or does anyone have any question? Is there anything confusing you as regards alignment now? Those are starting graphic design afresh. If you are paying attention. Okay, can hear you?
So
Can
it's
hear
not
you.
just
Someone was
just confused if there's any difference between, because I know another alignment called, is it justify? I don't know if it's the same as
okay.
center alignment.
Okay, what's the name of the person asking? Okay, Isaac. Justify. You know when can I get anything? I don't want to start switching my screen again. Coming back will be hard. You know when you are typing a document or text anything, and from I still have to show you this for you to understand it clearly. Let me open. Okay, let me see. Let me use this presentation. Let me use this presentation now. Let me see any place where we have a larger head. This place now that we have a larger text here. Can you see it? Can you see this repetition page I'm working on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where is this? Where is it? Now it's aligned to left now. I've aligned it to the center now. Can you see? I've aligned it to the right now. Like normal text alignment. Now justify. We make sure that both left and right side it is aligned straight, left and right. See here, see the edges, they are aligned straight. Not this way. You see, if you're using left alignment now, you see that the only straight line is to the left, while the right is just anyhow the line ends. But if you use justify, it will force it to make sure that it's aligned left and right straight. So on a design Canva now, if you align all your elements to fit in straight, both left and right of the Canva, that means you are simply trying to justify your elements on the design. I don't know if you get that. Like this.
Yeah, my question.
Your question is what?
Is there in any scenario we will use that justify for any design, or instead of using center alignment? Like, is there in any place that we're supposed to?
You see these boxes now. You know, all these principles of design, you are not only applying them when it has to do with flyer designs, because it's not only flyer design that is graphic design now. It's like the way this pattern is created now on this repetition, this pattern. Both left and right of it are equal. It is because they justified the arrangement of the elements, that is those shapes on it. You get? You see, hey, this one when we're doing alignments now, this organized alignment now, and everything is arranged equally and straight lines. You get? You understand? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Promise. Any other person confused about it? so that we should finish the class in highest 20 minutes from now. Because it's 1 hour class. It started around 8:20. Any other person? Does that mean I'm a perfect teacher? Or I don't know how to teach? Which one? But I should be having questions rolling in. That means everything I'm saying, like, understand. Oh, that means you guys are too smart. Damn, you're just getting everything once. I love this. Okay, so moving on. Moving on. So presenting. Okay. Proximity. This is where beginners in design used to have query with their designs. Like you just be fighting with proximity. I see proximity collect their X from them. Now, proximity is very simple, but at the same time confuses people a lot. It's placing similar or related elements of a design close to each other on that design. Similar design elements close to each other. And I always use this kitchen example and the house generally. You cannot be carrying your kitchen utensils to come and keep in your sitting room. Cannot be carrying your clothes to come and keep in the kitchen. What has to do with kitchen will be in the kitchen. What relates to sitting room will be in the sitting room. Related elements, shapes, fonts, colors, or any element of design, as long as they are related, they will be placed close to each other on the design. I might be speaking English. Let's see if you have any picture to illustrate. Okay. You see this circles. The first one, they are scattered. But the second one, they are arranged and placed to each other in an orderly manner. It makes it appealing to the eyes. Remember that we are trying to make sure that whatever we are doing is appealing to the eyes. Right? Then, okay, the last design I used to explain proximity very well. Okay, this one to explain proximity. Because, we are talking about related elements. What are the elements of design that we have? Okay, let somebody just list elements of design that we have. But I've been talking. I want to hear you guys.
Shape.
Mention elements of design. Shape.
So you mentioned shape, size, fonts, texture, space, imagery, color, and typography.
Only you want mention.
A brilliant student now. We'll give a class rep. All right. It's right. You mentioned them. Who was that? Who mentioned them? Is this Xerox? Who mentioned them? I'll give you class rep now. I know we talk.
Sir, no worries, sir.
Testimony, or what do you call it? Distinction.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you go carry first with that too. So
Yes, sir.
proximity now is telling us that design elements that are related, keep them together. Now, what I used to say when it has to do with the relation, it cannot just be the fact that because they are shapes, you now go and put all of them on one side. They are fonts, you now go and put all the write-up on one side. Now, basically, proximity telling you that images should be placed separate from write-up, so that you don't mix image or shapes and text together and combine them all just like that. You see where we have this softwares now, this Photoshop logo, CorelDRAW logo, Adobe Illustrator logo, Pixel Lab logo on top of them. They are related information. talking about the different softwares for designing. Now they are placed together. Where we have the graphic design and the whole text is related. So we put them where we have the listing, the bullets, they are related information. So we put them together. You not put introduction to graphic design in one side. Now carry social media flyer design and put at the top of the Canva. Now carry it down and put scatter them like that. No, they are related pieces of information. Do you understand what proximity is telling us now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I still use these designs to talk about proximity. Oh, this guy fine. Oh. This was her birthday last year, January 2nd. Okay, this year. This proximity now. Using this one to explain proximity. The image is standing alone as an image on the design, while the text, they are related information, so they are placed close to each other on the design. Now, the second image there. I know do flyer 5K again. This was last year. So that somebody will not come and see now and can't say I do flyer 5K. So let me go and recognize it. Handwriting. Hey, my number is there, I'll remove it. Xmas flyer AWOV. Okay, it was even for promotion. They are related information, text right up. They are placed together. While the pictures are related information, related elements, they are placed together on the design Canva. So basically, this is what proximity is talking about. Godwin asked a question about proximity earlier. I don't know if you are cleared or there's a question you want to ask about proximity.
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Okay, teach us proximity now that you understand. Just say something about it. Let's know you get what.
Okay. Proximity. I would use the word hierarchy. Hierarchy in the sense by the way you arrange your object. I'm using object because in place of pictures, like when we have the Xmas flyer over here, like those pictures you have beneath them, it's an object there before you place the pictures inside. The way it's arranged, the hierarchy of the way it's arranged, that's proximity. If I'm correct, sir.
Okay, you were kind of mixing it up with the hierarchy. Remember, hierarchy is the next thing we'll talk about. So I'll explain what hierarchy means.
No, I meant like, okay, you just go ahead, sir.
So the simple thing is proximity, placing similar elements together. You put them together. See the definition we give. Similar or related design elements close to each other on a design. These ones, they are similar, so we put them together. The information that are related, so we put them together. The pictures are related, so we put them together. You get? The texts are related, so we put them close to each other. So that when the aim is for us to make the design easy for somebody to read through. So that we are reading, you know, we jumping from one place to another. If you see the image, you know that straight up, that's an image. We now move to the text. Happy birthday, Gloria. God bless your new age. And you continue reading. Xmas flyer AWOV. And you continue reading because you already know that down there are related design elements are placed together. Image is an element, text is an element, shapes are elements. You place them close to each other in design Canva. That's what That's what proximity is talking about. Who is sending me love message? Let me fall in love again. Okay. I don't like love messages. Please stop sending me love messages. Thank you. Stone my heart to stone. So now let's talk about hierarchy now. That this guy was mentioned. This is the last thing we'll talk about today. Then tomorrow we for those that want to learn the system, are going to say how you're going to do. Those that want to learn with phone, see how you're going to do. And then I get those that are serious that I'll continue with, and the rest we'll see you next class if it will be free again. So hierarchy, and remember I said I was going to add one to the crap. This is it. Now these design principles I've talked about are very important. If you are able to obey them on your design, you'll be good to go. But then no matter how you apply all these other ones that I've talked about, you will apply them correctly. If you don't apply hierarchy, you might not pass out the information accurately. You might pass out the information, but you might not pass it out the right way as it's supposed. Now, hierarchy involves organizing design elements in their order of importance on a design. Remember, every of these principles talking about design elements. Yeah, this one I telling you that you have to align it, arrange it in their order of importance on the design, or in the order in which you want your viewers to receive or to perceive it. You get. Now look at this. I love this explanation of hierarchy. If you see that a small one, the second to the biggest and the biggest, this first set now, you will definitely see the big one first. You see the second to the biggest, and you see the smallest. The same thing goes with this other one that is creating more like a perspective fill here. Big and smaller, like that going. Now, this is what hierarchy is telling you. That on a design, you should be able to have level of how you want your audience of that design to look at it, to see it, what you want them to see first, what you want them to see second, and like that. Hierarchy in graphic design utilizes several key principles. Now, you see that hierarchy now, the reason why I kept hierarchy separate from those four main ones, hierarchy is now making use of not just elements, it's combining those principles we talk about to achieve its purpose. Hierarchy is utilizing size, color, contrast, alignment, repetition, brightness to emphasize certain characteristics of the design. Let's move further. Look at it. Somebody should unmute and read this for us. Read everything on this design. Let me point to someone so that multiple people will not be reading.
You will read this first.
It's at 68. Okay, continue, Godwin.
You will read this first. And then you will read this line next. I can't see the 1 minute though.
Just read it by the one you see first.
Can I read it?
Yeah, please
okay,
do.
Read it. That boy is sweet. Hey, that guy, stop talking. Woman, please continue.
Okay, you will read this first, and then you will read this line next. At some point, you may come back to read this line, or maybe not. Then you will go back to read this body. Copy if you want to know more. It takes the most effort to read because it has a lot of text in a small font, in a lightweight, with tight line spacing. Okay, should I stop now?
That is okay. Yeah, that is okay. Now
Okay.
you got the first one, which I wanted to get, and the second one. I don't know why you are okay. Now That is why in advanced design there's something known as layout. There are different kind of layouts now. The reason why you guys were not reading this, you will probably read this before the paragraph. The reason why you're not reading that is because normally as human beings we read from left to right.
Yeah,
You
it's
get,
silent. Like,
you read from, so it's psychological, and the layout is such a way that is using from top left straight down to bottom right. If not, you would have read that. After reading that, then you read this line next. You would have read that. You will probably read this before the paragraph. But then, what this is trying to explain to us is that the order at which you want your viewers to read, to get the information on the design, is what you will use hierarchy to achieve for your design. On this flyer design now, let me see if I put it on the next slide. This, let me see if I put it on the next slide. Okay. On this Esma Saouf, no, let's use this our graphic designer. The first thing you definitely see on this design is the title, graphic designer, right? And second might be my face. Maybe I'm fine, I'm a fine boy, right? Then you can now move to other information on the design. The birthday one, you probably see the picture first, then you see the happy birthday. In fact, you see the picture first before you see the happy birthday. For the Christmas one, you might, because of the redness, you might see the Xmas Awoof before your attention will go to the Father Christmas, or you see the Father Christmas first before you go to the Xmas Awoof. So on every design, there should be something that you want, just like this one now. You want somebody to see first, second, up to the last one on that design. And you are doing this in their order of importance, how important that information is on that design. I wanted you guys to see that, bam, this is a graphic designer something. That's why the graphic designer is the art. This one, either I want somebody to see the Father Christmas first before knowing what this Father Christmas is all about, or I want the person to just see the Xmas I will straight up. Get. So this is what hierarchy is telling us on every piece of work, that we should make sure that we organize in such a way that we want somebody to read information first, then read to the next one, then read to the next one, read to the next one. Do you understand that? Let me see if I have another example.
clearly.
Yes,
You
sir.
see the first image here. There's not much hierarchy because the two images, the fish and the person, are just the same size. So you just see them together, and your eyes might even be straining to confuse which one should you see first. When we look at the second image now, definitely you observe the fish first before you move to the person. Looking at this example now, Jane Smith, the first thing you will see that is a female picture that is there. Then you now see her name for other information. But the first one that does not have hierarchy, you just see the picture and then you now move to other information. That means every other thing is just to see. It's not really important. You just need to see her face. But the second image is telling us that her name is important as well after we see a picture. So it's used in every art, any piece of writing you see as well. That's why you have your heading on your documents, because that's what you want somebody to see first before they now go and read the subheading, before they go and start reading the paragraph. That is what hierarchy does for every design, every artwork. I hope we got that. Hierarchy is very important on the design and should never be neglected. Should never be neglected. All right. Do we have any question on hierarchy? Hierarchy. Hierarchy is an advanced rule of designing, but I believe you understand from this basic explanation. Oh, tired of talking already. Can somebody ask a question? Let me answer. Thank you. Ask a question. Ask a question. Or should I ask a question? Ask a question. Ask a question. All right. Let me appoint to somebody to explain to us what hierarchy is. Since nobody wants to ask me, that means you all understand. Emi Coded. Emi Coded, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. Explain the hierarchy to us, boss.
Sorry, I'm not following. My data is a bit. My connection is bad here.
So what are we going to do now? Which of the principle of design we talked about that you followed and you understood?
I think the which of them? The something about the pattern arrangement, something.
You know, I don't have girlfriend now, so nobody can break my heart except my students.
Nobody's breaking your heart, sir.
I break my heart too, so I've just been teaching since. So okay, somebody that understands hierarchy, please teach us. Because I know that my energy did not just go like that. I love making impact. I love making sure that people are learning from me, so that this energy will not just go like this. Somebody should explain. Somebody should explain. What you do, Emi Coded, what you do is after the training, reach out to me if you are really serious about learning this thing. Reach out to me. I will know. People that have been with me know that I know how to get to know those that are serious. I will know. So, anyone? I want to hear from you. Okay, distinction, I can hear you. After you, Inan will talk.
Yeah, I believe it's based on the importance of the elements in the design. Like the example you gave, like the flyer you design now, the importance there, like what you said, the first thing we see as it is bold now is the graphic design and your picture. I believe the importance is given on that element. That's what defines hierarchy.
All right, that explains it. Any other person? Okay, Inan. Inan is still, he cannot talk. All right. Let me call another person. Blessing Ademola. I think you have a fine voice. Just talk. Give me your voice.
Please, what's the question again, sir?
Explain hierarchy to us.
Hierarchy, with the way you explained,
Yeah.
hierarchy is just making visible what you want. No. Making visible and first what you want people to see first.
I feel like
And
clapping for you.
I'm making it look audible, basically. That's what hierarchy is all about.
All right. That is what I want to hear. Getting someone what you want them to see first. Because you know these days, the way people get let me say the attention span has reduced so much that people just want to see something at a glance and they know what it is and pass. If you are not able to achieve that, um, oh sorry, I was distracted. If you are not able to achieve that, then probably there's something wrong with the way you apply contrast on the design. Somebody did not just see your design, tap and get what it's all about. Not just contrast. That means there are so many of these design principles that you not apply correctly. There's so many of these elements that you not apply them the right way. For example, now we know that color psychology. Now, for example, we know that green, brown has to relate to nature or health and all. When it comes to colors like blue, we talk about corporate finance and all. When you talk about red, can either mean danger or love and all like that. Now you want to design a Valentine flyer, for example. Valentine is coming in February. You want to design a flyer and you go and use blue and black or blue and green for your flyer or for the design, and you now just arrange the elements in one kind way like that. You know that your design might be fine, but at that point something is missing. So that you're not designing, you're not passing out the right message. You're passing the right message but to the wrong audience. You get that kind of thing. So your design is not gotten at a glance. If they like that Valentine period, use red and all white like that, you know that those are the colors, and somebody will quickly see the design. You know that it is a Valentine related something, and if the person is interested in reading more information, but if the person will continue, first thing that will grab the person's attention is the color. So I hope you guys have gotten these basic things about design. These are the things that changed my design life, apart from other things I've learned so far from experience from other people as well. Then conclusion, I said earlier, the difference between an app user and a graphic designer is their knowledge and ability to apply these design principles as we'll talk about. So I believe you know them now, and if you are able to know how to apply them very well, I will not call you an app user, I will call you a graphic designer. Many things are competing for our time and attention. Bam, just talk about this now. I didn't even know that it's here. Our attention span are getting shorter, which means messages need to be abbreviated. Designers have to work harder and on different levels in order to communicate effectively. Different design elements must complement each other on design in order to enhance the overall communication. Very important, very important. So let's keep this at the back of our mind. Anywhere you wrote them down, keep them. I'm not going to share this slide with anybody for now. Or load it somewhere for us to go back anytime you want to. So, but then, if you wrote them down, congratulations, because you should always visit them. Once we start designing, when you start designing, always visit them and understand what it means. If you don't understand, those that will be added to my mentees group will always get my time when I will explain to you. Once in a week, we used to meet. We do design reviews and drop every other important thing that everybody needs to learn. So for today, okay, I'm going to do day 2 tomorrow. Day 2 is more practical, so I'm going to do a bit practical, and after that, I'm going to take those that will be following me. So I believe we've gotten today's knowledge already. I will be stopping here for today. I'm tired of talking already, and I believe you guys are already tired too, so that it don't become too boring. Does anyone have any question as regards to this class? I've taught so far something. Before I give my assignment, this assignment will also go a long way to determine how serious and how well you've learned from today's class. Any question from Lawrence? Lawrence, I muted you. Let me unmute back. Punam, Paul, Bayemi, Katiok, Doris, Ezekwe, Inan, Godwin, Blessing, Luadare, Emikude Distinction X. Any question? All right,
Yes, sir.
no question. No question. My assignment is this. Everybody get two designs. Get two designs each. Identify at least 3 principles that are applied on the design. On one, 3 principles are applied rightly on the design, one of the design. Then the second design is going to be a bad design, let me call it that way, and identify how 3 of those principles were used wrongly. Is the assignment clear? 2 designs. One, you identify how well 3 principles of design were rightly used. Any of the 4 5 that we talked about. Any of those 5 that were rightly used. Any 3 of those 5 that were rightly used. Then the second design, you identify how 3 principles might still be that same one you talk about, might still be any of those 5 principles I'll talk about, how they were wrongly applied on that design. So I will encourage you to do it between now and tomorrow 8 p.m. It won't take you much. Do it. Forward it to my email. Forward it to my email. Yes, let me use that concept email. My personal email storage is getting full, so that you guys send large. I want to paste my email now. The email you send them to. All right. This is the email you send it to. You can put it in, you can arrange it in PDF and forward, or you can just send them like that. I will see it. Send it with your full name as well. So the assignment clear now. Somebody can type it down for us to get. So congratulations on your additional knowledge that you have now. Even if you're a designer before, I believe that you've added one additional knowledge to your knowledge already. Until next time, guys. Tomorrow. Remain and stay creative.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.